Howdy folks, I'm Honorable Alaskan Hare, happily hopping over harsh hills.
I'm Amber.
And here are more harsh hills for us to jump over. Let's get started. The harsh hill of Reddit. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for telling my ex's sterile affair partner to have her own daughter if she wants to share cheerleading with one? My ex, a 44-year-old male, cheated on me, a 40s female, and ended our marriage so that he could be with his affair partner slash wife, Jen, a 42-year-old female. This happened several years ago when our kids were very young. My ex gets our kids 6 days a month. He works out of state frequently, so this was the most consistent schedule where our kids would be with a parent, me or ex, instead of being left with a babysitter or his wife. According to my ex and Jen, she is sterile and can't have any kids. I never asked for this information, but they offered this information up in hopes that I would quote unquote share the kids with her more and encourage them to embrace Jen as their second mom. I have not done this, and I have told them that we are not friends, and they are not going to expect any favors from me after going behind my back and doing what they did. Jen was someone that I knew before learning the truth. She was dating someone in my ex's friend's circle and made a point of getting to know me. I found out why later. She was expecting us to be friends, and she thought that would help me not hate her afterwards. To bring this up because of what's currently going on. Jen was a big cheerleader in her youth and volunteers with a local cheer group. She wants my daughter, a 10-year-old, to get involved in cheer. My daughter told me about it the other week because Jen was trying to make her go, and my ex was backing Jen on it. She told me that she didn't want to and that she needs my help. All the kids are aware of the fact that stuff like this has to be agreed on by both me and their dad. I reached out and I told my ex that our daughter will not be put into cheer against her will and that he needs to stop pressuring her to join. He didn't respond back the way that he's supposed to through the app, so I noted his reply on the app and I got a lot of cussing back. I tried to call Jen, but she didn't answer. She approached me a few days later while we were in the same store, and she told me that I can't keep punishing her by depriving her of my children. She said that she's been in their lives since they were little, and she has every right to bond with them and share stuff like that with them. And I told her that she does not get to force my kids into stuff against their will. I walked away and she followed me around for a bit and told me how it was her dream to share cheer with a daughter and all the stuff that I just don't care about. I told her that she should have a daughter of her own if she wants to share it, and to leave mine alone. She stopped following me around after that, and I heard from the ex a few times saying that it was cruel to say that to her when I know that she can't have children. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
I'm gonna say not the jerk here. I mean, she could always take interest in like the school's cheer club and find kids to mentor and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the important thing is the daughter doesn't want to do cheer. If OP were blocking the daughter from doing cheer and the daughter wanted to, that would be a completely different situation. But the daughter has clearly expressed that she doesn't want to do this sport. And I know at 10, like, it's not as dangerous as like high school cheer, but still, like, injuries can happen and whatnot. And so if she doesn't want to do it, it's not in her best interest. And, why force her into something she doesn't want to do?
Yeah, I think generally it's a little bit of a hard thing to force kids into doing things that they want. Even small children, I think that it can be challenging because, like, I know a lot of parents will force kids to do things like piano lessons and language lessons and stuff like that when they're very small because those are the time that they have, like, the most aptitude for those things. And so I think that that's a difficult, tricky situation because little kids don't necessarily know what they like and what they don't like. So exposing them to a lot of different things isn't harmful, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a 10-year-old is a far cry from a very, very small child, right?
Right. Well, especially if she's going to be starting middle school and sports are getting more competitive. Because, when kids are little, if you enter them in like Little League or like, like the little kids' sports, they're not that dangerous. The kids will fall, they'll get hurt. But like once you get to middle school and especially high school, that's when there are some real serious risks, health risks to the participants.
Yeah. So I think again, like if she doesn't want to do cheer, then she shouldn't be forced to do cheer. And there are a lot of other sports out there that she might be interested in, and maybe it's time for her to look into something if she does want to do something. But there are a lot of different hobbies and things like that out there for kids, so it doesn't always have to be sports too, right?
Yeah, well, and as for the stepmom, like, I think part of the reason why she doesn't have a great relationship with the kids, if this poses any indication, is she's trying to mold them
Mm-hmm.
into, like, she did cheer a lot, so she wants a child who does cheer.
Yeah.
Instead of accepting OP's daughter as she is and trying to build common interests with the daughter.
Yeah.
You know, maybe the daughter likes books or movies or something else. Then instead of actively supporting her in her hobbies and interests, she's like, I want to turn you into a cheerleader.
Yeah. Pretty much. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Nuktos1517 says, do the kids know about the affair? And OP replies, no, they don't know about the affair. I don't think that it's going to take them much time to figure it out, though. And Translator Waste 7011 says, I'm going to say this. It doesn't matter if she's an affair partner mom, stepmom, or her mom. Forcing her into a sport that she doesn't want to do is wrong. Making your kids live out your unsuccessful dreams is vile. And Opie replies, agreed, I never liked the idea of that. I also feel like forcing kids into certain activities makes them more prone to injury if they're not going by choice. And Bree3000 says, you are the jerk for saying what you said. That was unnecessarily cruel. There was no reason to say that. You could have just stated that your daughter is not interested in cheer and walked away. I hope your children were not witnesses to your behavior. And Opie replies, my kids weren't there. If they had been, then it would have gone differently. There are still options that they could do for children if they wanted to. They could adopt. They could have a surrogate carry them if she wasn't able to carry a child. So I think that there are options for them if they really want to have their own child.
Right, and I mean, I know OP's, it might have been a blow intended at her infertility, and if that was, that's not cool. But again, like, if she's just like, get your own child, like, you can obtain children. That sounds really shady.
Well, you see, we have a van.
No.
It has candy painted on the side.
Like, you could adopt a child, but you could also, like, mentor children at like a youth cheer camp or something like that.
Yeah, there are all kinds of ways to obtain a child.
I'm regretting my words so badly.
All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to continue providing free childcare for my stepdaughter? I did a work program with the local clerk of the court's office when I was in high school. They hired me when I graduated, and I had my 30 service years before I turned 50. With 30 service years, you can get your full pension at any age. I worked until my first grandchild was born, then I retired to be grandma daycare. I have 5 grands, 8 male from my stepson, 7 male from my son, 5 female, and an 18-month from my daughter. I babysit all of them with no issue or complaints. I still kept the 18-month-old on Monday through Friday, and the older ones summer and school holidays. My stepdaughter and her boyfriend have been non-stop drama since before the baby was born. When she was 10 weeks pregnant, they presented a 3-page list of rules for what I was supposed to do when I was babysitting. They said that if I didn't sign it, then they wouldn't allow me to babysit. I said that I understood their need to do what was best for their baby, and I assured them that there would be no hurt feelings on my end when they made other child care arrangements. Some of the rules were almost understandable, but most were downright ridiculous, and none of it was going to work for me. I don't remember all of them, but some examples are, I can't take the baby anywhere without permission, I can't watch more than one additional child while babysitting, I can't cook, I had to provide the full name, date of birth, and address of any potential visitors ahead of time for their approval of the person being around their child. They have to know any time that I have a guest over, and who it is, and how long they stay. My 9-year-old cat would have to be kept out of the rooms where the baby would be at, even when there wasn't a baby around. I couldn't get another pet without their agreement. When she was 7 months along, they came back with the revised rules in an attempt to compromise. I again let them know that their expectations were not going to fit with my life, and that they should just find other childcare. 2 days after my stepdaughter went back to work, she called and asked if I could keep Colin the next day. I agreed, but I made it clear that I was going to provide a safe, appropriate care according to my judgment, and I wasn't going to deal with complaints or whatever that I was violating the rules because I wanted to be very clear that I was not agreeing to any of that. My stepdaughter was okay on the days that she picked up Cullen and dropped him off. I felt like she was interrogating me every single time she picked him up, but it was tolerable, but her boyfriend was downright rude. It got to the point where I actually spent Sunday dreading the start of the week because of dealing with both of them, but especially his behavior. At a minimum, he would pick up Colin, make a big deal of partially undressing him, and make a snide comment about my cat, or if I had any grandchildren over besides the 18-month, or if I had cooked or whatever. He would then say that I guess we don't have any choice but to put up with this for now, or I guess that you're happy that you won. This went on for 4 months. I spoke to my stepdaughter several times about it and told her that obviously they were very unhappy with how I care for Colin and that they should really work on finding someone else, and that in the meantime he needed to be less vocal about it. It would get better for a day or two and then he would start up again. It all came to a head as Thanksgiving was approaching. He was very verbal about the fact that he didn't want me to keep all of my grandchildren over the break. I made it very clear that there would be a couple of days that I had all of them and that they needed to make other arrangements if they had a problem. They didn't make any other arrangements, and when he picked up Colin on the first day that I had all of my grandkids, he was very rude, and although nothing happened, everyone was happy, clean, fed, and had a great day. He said to Colin that he was sorry that he had no choice except to leave him in an unsafe situation and be neglected. I called my stepdaughter that night and relayed what he had said and told her that she had 2 weeks to make other arrangements and that she needed to drop off and pick up Colin during those 2 weeks, and if her boyfriend came to drop him off, I would refuse to keep him, and if he picked him up, I would not keep them again. So things were better with only dealing with her. At some point, she asked me if I would keep him until January because they found someone, but they couldn't start until then. I agreed, so I picked up Colin, and then I dropped him off, and everything was fine. New Year's Day, several people sent me a screenshot of a post that her boyfriend made on social media about how thankful that he was that they were finally able to leave Colin without worrying about his safety or him being neglected. He didn't outright name me or accuse me of anything specific, but anyone who knows us knows that I was keeping him, and the post implied plenty. I was just happy it was over. Friday, she called me and said that their new child care provider had told her that Colin wasn't a good fit and that she couldn't bring him back until Monday. She asked if I would start keeping him again, and I told her that I was sorry for their situation, but I really don't feel comfortable keeping him. My husband and stepson think that I should watch Colin under agreement that Amanda drop him off and then pick him up because they think that their boyfriend is a big problem and that I should just do it for Colin's sake. My stepson also commented that I'd probably be more willing to let it go if it had been a conflict with my daughter's husband. My pension is about $4,000 a month, plus continuation of my health insurance. That's about 40% of our take-home income, if that matters. Am I the jerk for refusing to start watching Colin again? Alright folks, and there is an update on this one. Update, am I the jerk for refusing to continue providing free childcare for my stepdaughter? The original post was here. First, let me address the common suggestion that Amanda's boyfriend is purposely sabotaging their childcare to trap her at home. They make roughly the same amount of money and definitely can't afford to lose half their income. I seriously doubt that he wants her to stay home. Secondly, I would never tell my stepson to find someone else to watch his child because of a simple difference of opinion. My grandson and I have a very close bond, and he's the oldest, and it would break my heart if he didn't come to spend the holidays and summers with me. Plus, he's a huge help with the little ones when I have them all and when things get hectic. I would never ever be so petty as to make him and all of my other grandchildren suffer because of an adult disagreement. So I sort of asked around about why they dropped by their new sitter so quickly. Apparently, they weren't. Amanda picked up Colin and dropped him off both days, and he went about everything, and everything was lovely. He did cry quite a bit, but they expected that, and they expected it to get better as he adjusted to not being held as much. My husband and stepson talked to Amanda, and she said that they realized that they can't afford daycare, that they already made the easy changes, packing a lunch, giving up fancy coffee, etc., and his dad and her mom are both giving them about $100 a month toward childcare, and they can barely afford it. But they didn't realize that you have to send everything that the baby needs. I buy diapers, wipes, formula, bottles, extra clothes, etc., and they just hand me the baby. They didn't realize that daycare doesn't cover all of that. Also, imagine her boyfriend's surprise when he found out what the staffing rates are in this very expensive daycare. One adult for every 5 infants. I guess he thought that someone would provide one-on-one care, diapers, wipes, and formula for $350 a week. My stepson relayed their almost apology. They felt overwhelmed by the infant and couldn't imagine someone else that could manage all that plus their other things. Cullen is going back to daycare tomorrow. Cullen's dad is selling his dirt bike, and Amanda is selling some designer clothes, handbags, and shoes to cover the cost. It'll get easier for them in 6 months when he transfers to the 1-year-old class, which is a little cheaper. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, I don't think Opie's in that wrong. I mean, this wasn't a one-time thing. This was repeated bashing. And the way he was blasting Opie on social media like that, like, that could have potentially like raised questions about the safety of Opie's home environment. You know, she had CPS calls if people took him seriously.
Yeah.
Like, there's all kinds of ways that could have gone wrong. So, you know, they were given a very generous offer. OP was not only caring for the children for free, but providing all the supplies they needed. And instead of being grateful, they got upset that it wasn't exactly what they were looking for. And they're now kind of suffering the consequences of their actions.
Yeah, I mean, this is just instant karma is really what it boils down to. And I understand them being, I guess, frustrated by the childcare situation. Certainly, childcare is expensive, but they kind of bit the hand that fed them, right? They didn't trust somebody who's raised children of their own, who's been taking care of other people's children for a very long time, who has money and resources to do this, and they kind of thought that they could do better for themselves. And
well, all right, like Opie has multiple children. It sounds like she raised at the same time.
yeah,
So the idea that, oh, well, you can't handle more than 2 kids at once is very strange. But to top it off, also the entitlement of him thinking that his child is more entitled to care than the other grandchildren.
yeah,
And insisting Opie only care for his child and maybe one more.
yeah. I think at the end of the day, if you're a choosy beggar, then you're going to get what you deserve at the end, right? I think that the harsh reality of the world has set in, that there is no free lunch and there is no free diapers unless you have OP as a grandmother. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Pink Baby 2024 says, I love how Amanda's boyfriend was shocked to find out that daycare isn't a magical babysitting fairyland. Newsflash, diapers don't grow on trees, buddy. And Gray Blue Girl says, I wonder if he's ever going to apologize for being a jerk. Hopefully he does. I mean, I really honestly hope that they sincerely apologize and make a public apology on Facebook to hopefully rectify the situation. And they can say, we messed up. We're swallowing our pride. We're really sorry for everything. The person who was caring for our children was doing a perfectly fine job of it. We just are inexperienced parents, and we thought that they weren't doing as good of a job as we wanted them to do. We apologize. They just need to apologize. And Canyon Moon says, it's actually ridiculous to think about how he went public with accusations of child neglect against you, and yet he didn't know the first thing about what his child would actually need in a daycare, because you had covered it. Also, the almost apologies will never be enough until your stepdaughter's partner publicly retracts and apologizes properly for his earlier libel. I would push back against your stepson a bit, not in terms of changing anything with childcare, but simply ask him why he thought that it was appropriate to ask you to work for free for someone who publicly slandered you. You deserve a proper apology from both your husband and your stepson as well. All right, folks, it's tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What books do Matcha and Oolong enjoy?
Oh, I would imagine that both Matcha and Oolong would enjoy tea party books.
Good, they probably do, but also steamy romances.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I can't say it, but I got it. Very good. I like it.
And today is National Hot Tea Day.
Ooh, did you bring your national hot tea? I did. And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy special Sunday, folks. I hope your Sunday is off to a special start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on being a choosy baker.
Don't slander the people who are trying to help you as long as they are providing legitimate help.
Yeah, I think that works. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.